everyone, and welcome to another episode of Split City podcast. Today, our guest is Matthew Hairsnape. Hello, Matthew.
Hi, Nicola. How you doing?
Doing well, you?
Good, very good, thank you.
Doing good. Great, that's good to hear. So, right off the bat, a little bit about you, who you are, and what brought you to Split.
Who I am? Well, my name is Matt from England. I've been coming to Croatia for a long time now, over 10 years. And in this space, I was used to work in travel years ago. I've always been obsessed with travel. I came here actually when I was hitchhiking years ago. And when I arrived here, I said, well, I don't want to keep going. I was thinking it's beautiful. And then my early years, I worked for different travel companies, almost wanting to stay in Croatia, finding on the boats, the communities, what's happening. And then post that point, one thing I realised is here there was not much going on in terms of the music tourism. There was a lot of festivals, there was a lot of people coming in at this point. There wasn't actually anyone to facilitate these experiences. So that's something I worked on for a lot of my 20s, was kind of building these community experiences for solo travellers, people wanting to connect, find experiences here in Croatia, Balkans and beyond. And that's kind of developed into where I am today.
Okay, and where are you today?
Today we pivoted about 3 years ago into actually working as a tech platform. We realised in terms of the opportunity we had in terms of scalability, building the tech made the most sense. And right now we're in a very exciting stage, so we're launching, we've launched this summer our new company Triend, which is essentially a new way that we're working on a Web3 basis that anyone in the world can get recommendations as and when they need it, which is powered by blockchain technology.
Cool.
Yeah.
So now I'm interested about the launch.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you launch?
We launched in a few places just around town. We kind of did little events. We had people, different hostels. We're trying to build more of a community-driven effect here in Split, but we're actually having a launch on the 5th of August, a bit of a press launch in a hotel in Milna called O-Life, which is going to be very exciting. A lot of the community are going to be coming, and just kind of now we've put it out there, now hopefully let people ask questions, see what Triend's about, and how we hopefully plan to add something to the world with what we're building.
Okay, so any mission and goals that you want to share?
Yeah, I think a cool mission is that I think anyone in the world could be a bit nicer to each other. And what we say with recommendations is there's so much negativity right now. You can go on all these platforms, TripAdvisor, Google, and it's just people putting negative things out there. And a lot of it isn't real, a lot of it's fake, a lot of it's kind of not authentic. So what we want to do with not only blockchain technology, but what we're building in-house with Triend is to kind of alleviate these problems. But also incentivize people to help each other. So I arrive into Split, I don't know what to do, where to go. Okay, there's a list of things I can probably read or look at. But our mission is that, for example, if you're into tech or you love music or you love art, you can actually connect with that community and get that information straight away, and then reward someone for helping you. And that's how the token in terms of cryptocurrency comes into play. We're kind of rewarding people for interacting with our platform as the press is kind of anti-TripAdvisor almost.
So good to hear that you're developing something like that, and also that you decided to launch it here in Split of all places. So tell me a little bit about your preferences. Like, you obviously traveled a lot.
Yep.
So any favorite spots in Croatia, any favorite spots in Split, and why they are the
All
favorite?
right, wow, that's a very hard one, especially working on the boats. You know what, I recently had, over I think about 2 years ago, a new favorite, no, actually a year ago, sorry, and that was Biševo. It was at the island just behind Vis, just off Komiža. And I had never really, known about Biševo. I'd been to all the islands, and then a friend invited me to what is kind of an artist residency out there, and it was in May, and it was for 10 days, and it was absolutely beautiful. There was like 5 people on the island. There was, it really felt like, what Croatia, would have been like 50 years ago, and I found that was quite a beautiful thing to find here. Obviously, with, I think there's a lot of, tourism that comes in, and good and the bad, and I found Biševo was that one place was really beautiful. Walking down the streets, people inviting us into their house for wine and rakia, and it's a great spot there. So people go and stay. They help kind of build the kind of ecosystem out there with this artist residency, and I thought it was just really beautiful. So Biševo is set on top of my list, but also Split. You know, I've been here for just over 10 years coming here now. Even like coming here today to come speak to you and the team, coming back to Sustapan, you know, like I said to you, early in the morning, it's you know, beautiful, and you can't get places like this. I've been a lot of places around the world, and still Croatia, you know, every time I come back, it's very lucky to be back.
Nice to hear that. And aside from the coast, any preferences, I don't know, near Zagreb, maybe Slavonia?
Exactly. I definitely like Zagreb, and Zagreb's somewhere I think, especially in not only the tech community, but in terms of kind of the artisan and the feeling, the little cafe bars. It's got a really nice community in Zagreb, and I think it's so great that, you know, say if you come and live here, you can go be in Zagreb one minute, then Split the next, and kind of go in between the two. And once again, I think some countries, say my friends from Australia, it's very hard to find that, that middle ground between the two.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of Zagreb as well.
Yeah, it's the diversity actually that everyone kind of mentions here, that you can have different things and very close, like connected.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, and about the tech scene, I mean, you mentioned that you've been coming here for years already, so you probably noticed how it evolved.
Yeah.
Yeah, any insights you can share about that?
For me personally, it's been really interesting even watching the tech, not only the tech scene, but, you know, the kind of culture that kind of Split in Croatia has brought into play, especially with, you know, the new rise of digital nomads coming here, and it's become, you know, I remember being here 10 years ago when you'd hit October. I mean, you would not hear any foreign, you know, voices in town, or you'd not hear any kind of, you know, interaction, because it was a holiday destination. And I think in terms of the tech scene, it's bringing, you know, a lot more people, because there's a lot more here to develop into. You know, 5-6 years ago, even, you know, myself, you know, moving into tech, Croatia was somewhere I was living, Split was somewhere I was living, but it wasn't on the basis that it would fuel moving into technology and it would fuel our company building in that space. It's because it's beautiful, because the people are amazing and the food and everything I love about Croatia. But now you've almost got this, you know, double-sided, you know, it's beautiful, you've got the feeling, you've got the food, you've got the culture, but now you've got this kind of community that's supporting this technology growth, especially in kind of, you know, Web3 and blockchain technology especially. And there's so many amazing people here. And what I love here, and I was saying this to you just even a couple of minutes ago, is, you know, I had a conversation the other day, and someone comes over, you're talking about Web3, talking about technology, you know, this is what I do, I'd love to get involved, and, you know, we're doing this in Belgrade, and we'd love to bring it here. And the same with a guy I met the other day who's, you know, works with Stoneblock, and he said, you know, went out for dinner, and he just wants to help. I think that's something beautiful about Split and Croatia and the way it's developing, is people want to help each other, and that, you know, there's a lot to say about people calling things and places communities, but actually here I think actually is an antithesis of what community is.
Great, that's great to hear. And I mean, that's the way we try to kind of build all these connections on kind of a sort of a healthy basis. That is kind of founded in the whole Mediterranean lifestyle of, you know, opening the home in Biševo and asking you to come for rakia. That's kind of the way it should be here.
And I think that's the way, if it keeps going that way, it's going to be more and more beautiful, because, you know, I think especially with the pandemic, you know, things change, you know, and a lot of people say, you know, they were only able to live in, say, America or, you know, the UK and, you know, France. Now they come here because they were able to see they could still run the business, they could still build the technological growth, and they could still do it somewhere beautiful like this. And now of having the supporting of the ecosystem of people here wanting to help that and fuel that, digital nomads, you know, people in the technology, especially Web3, I think it's a very exciting place to be here, pretty much.
Great. And your point of view on quality of life? I mean, you obviously, you're here, you like it here, so...
I don't think you can really get better than here, like, you know. And I say that purely from the way you wake up and you just can go for a beautiful swim. And even in the winter, there's something, you know, beautiful. I used to walk in December just along Janan. It's just so quiet, you know, in the mornings, the sun, it's crisp. You know, the food, the people, like, you know, I sound like I'm trying to sell like a Croatian tourism advert, but it's true. There's a reason they came back for 10 years, and there's a reason that people come back more and more and more and more, stay here. because I think it's starting to offer a lot more diversity. And I think that, you know, if I'm honest, years ago, I think Croatia didn't have that as much diversity, especially like in technology and whatnot. But now I think it really is getting to that point. So I think it will start to become, you know, one of the #1 destinations, not just to come on holiday, but for people who actually want to live. You know, for me, it's always find how interesting with friends, with families. It's so safe, you know, and I think that's going to be a very exciting proposition for lots of people and lots of industries to come here to Split and Croatia.
Cool. And one question, like for young people, Croatian young people who are always striving to leave because they think the grass is greener on the other side. Any tips for them?
If I was in London in a random bar telling someone about my project, there'd be about, the likelihood would be very little that someone would come up, introduce themselves to myself and Croatian friends to support and build with that project. Sometimes bigger isn't always better. I think somewhere like here you can get great understanding, work with people who understand the industry, and that gives you the tools to grow wherever you want. I think always, you know, especially they always say the grass is always greener, and I think, you know, jumping out too soon when you don't see the value of what's on your doorstep can be, you know, seen as, you know, a bit of a mistake sometimes from my point of view.
Thank you very much for that insight and this lovely chat we had this morning.
Not at all, not at all. Thanks, Nicolina. Thanks, guys.
And if you want more content like this, follow our YouTube channel and also our website and social media. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right.
Thank you.
Not at all, not at all.